I almost quit riding because I got the wrong bike for me. It's estimated that after the second year of riding, people quit around 80 to 90%. At least my reason, and one that I see a lot, this was in my second year of riding. I've now been riding almost 10 years. And that's that my bike was too big for me, and I didn't know how to handle it. But more importantly, I didn't know that there were tricks and really simple techniques to handle it. I don't know why I thought that, considering how many people have an actual disability, an actual size issue, have been able to overcome and become Olympians. For some reason, I thought that if a bike's too big for me, I guess I can't handle bikes and I should quit. In hindsight, now that I've learned that there are simple techniques to learn how to handle tall or heavy bikes, it just kind of seems crazy. But at the time, I really believed that. If I hadn't been posting on YouTube and one of you told me about Jocelyn's show and shown me that it is possible to learn how to handle larger bikes, I might have just sold my bike and figured, I guess riding isn't for me. So shout out to that subscriber. Another reason people quit riding is because instead of buying the bike they wanted, they bought a bike that either all their friends had or their friends thought they should get. So maybe they really just wanted a sport bike. They just wanted to ride twisty mountain roads, but instead they got what all their friends had, which was a big Harley Cruiser, and they didn't enjoy that bike. They didn't enjoy that big thing. And not realizing that they just didn't enjoy the bike, they thought that they just didn't enjoy riding, so they sell it and they quit. But quitting isn't the worst that can happen. Here's what first responder Mike Borello from YouTube channel Heroes Next Door had to say about what they're being called on the scene for.
I feel that people have been buying the wrong bikes and people have been getting killed because of it. We've had, I want to say 11 or 12 fatalities. Now, I've been on 3 of these, and these 3 fatalities have been younger riders that bought a bike. Within the first week of them owning that bike, crashed it and didn't make it.
Just a couple months ago, I was in an accident, and I haven't shared that on YouTube yet, but I get a lot of people emailing me saying, I dropped my bike or I got in an accident. How do I overcome the fear of getting back on the bike? And all these people that would ask me about what to do after an accident and overcoming the fear, I didn't know what to say because I hadn't been in an accident before. Now I'm a little over 2 months after my accident and I haven't gotten back on the bike yet. Physically, I couldn't. Like, I could barely put enough weight on my right leg. Now I can at least walk again, but I still don't know if I'm physically riding ready. But as far as how much weight I can put on my right leg, it would not be safe for me to ride just yet. The doctors did say 3 to 4 months for this swelling in my knee to totally go down. So I still can't answer that question of how do you overcome the fear after you've been in an accident. I can't tell you how many times I've met someone, either my dad's age or older, and they find out I ride and they're like, and they get this like glow in their eye, like, oh, I used to ride, but ever since I got in my accident, I couldn't do it anymore. So I think that's a big cause for other people as well, is that fear, especially when they've experienced it themselves. And if you want to make sure that you or your spouse or your friends are not one of these people who quit riding, I will have some solutions towards the end for the ones I can help you with. As far as what we can do to keep ourselves from being a negative statistic, here's what our first responder had to say about it.
We have laws that hold accountability for people that buy alcohol. If you go to a bar, you drink to the point where you get smashed, the bartender has the right to say, no, I'm not serving you anymore. We've called you off. We're going to take your keys and we're going to send you home or get your ride. There's a law for that. Why is there not a law that says, if you are a new rider, I cannot sell you a bike that's too big for you? Why isn't there a law saying, no, I'm not going to sell you this bike because you are going to kill yourself? Let's start you out with a smaller bike. Let's make sure that you do have your permit. Let's make sure that you do take the rider safety course.
And I can't share a ton of details about my crash just yet, but what I can talk about is that one of the most common causes of accidents is failure to see the rider. So that's why y'all always see me in bright helmet, bright gear, Like, I'm not in full black and I rarely ride at night. But here's something else you can do to just help yourself become more visible on the road. This is one of the most common questions I get. What is that light on the back of your helmet? And it's wire-free and it flashes when you're stopping or slowing down, right out of the box. You can get it in white or black. You can attach these mounting brackets so you can put it across multiple helmets. Just nice to have additional lights and something to grab a car's attention behind you. That's more like in their line of vision than the rear light is. So you don't need an app, you don't need to set this up or anything. No, this isn't something with turn signals. It just flashes when you're stopping or slowing down. And a couple of 20-something engineers were on Shark Tank invented it. And I'm like, what? That is not what I was doing in my 20s. So I have a discount code for you, Doodle10. I'll link to it down below. Now back to people quitting riding. So another reason people quit is they just no longer have enough time. Maybe they got married to someone who doesn't ride, or they had kids, or they started a job that was just too demanding, and before they knew it, their once like favorite weekend activity just started collecting dust in the garage, and so they sold it. That was a big reason why I started commuting on my bike, because I just got really busy with work. My boyfriend sold his bike, so he wasn't riding anymore, and he's my husband now, so yes, it is possible to be in a inter-motorcycle or no motorcycle relationship. But I found that on the weekends, I really wanted to spend time with our families and with him, so commuting became my main source of riding so that I could get back time. Some people, maybe they bought a bike to replace a car, so they got it just for commuting, and they didn't associate it with fun. I think the kind of riding you're doing can really dictate how fun it actually is. I started commuting on my bike to work because it was all against traffic. If I was going to work in hot pavement, Atlanta, slow traffic, I do not enjoy riding in that scenario at all. And I try to avoid riding in the city. When I ride, I go out into the country or the mountains, or perks of being a YouTuber, just flying out somewhere cool and riding. But city traffic riding is not fun at all. If that's the case, I want AC and a car so I can eat snacks while I drive. Some people may quit because they see it as a way to save money. They think it's for some reason going to be cheaper than a car just because it's smaller and less parts. But actually, sometimes your bike can cost the same, if not more, than a car and its maintenance. So if that's your main reason, main motivator, you're gonna change your mind quick. Especially because of how addicting riding is, and wanting to make your bike perfect as well can just really add up. But getting a bike just because it's cheaper than a car is not really the best reason to stick to it, I don't think. It's about loving it and enjoying it and doing it for an emotional pull, not a fiscal thing. And the final reason, some people quit riding because of social pressure. Your family, your mom, your wife or husband may want you to quit riding. I can't tell you how many men I've talked to in person that have said that, again, had this glow in their eye about riding and said, I used to ride, but my wife won't let me, especially if they've had an accident. Yeah, I am not here to argue with your wife. So if your wife won't let you ride, then I'm sorry, I ain't gonna help you with that. But what you could do is try to get her to love riding. Maybe you invite her to a dirt bike class in a safe training environment with instructors and rules, which we women tend to love a lot more than you guys do. And that could be a way to make her see it differently. And the final reason, which I would say is the biggest, and kind of encompasses some of these others we already talked about, is that essentially you got the wrong bike for you. If you buy too small, you can just upgrade and you can get a bigger bike, because that's what you would do if you really loved riding and your bike is too small. If you got too big, that's when you might be more likely to get in an accident or be afraid of your bike. And the fear, the accident, those things aren't exactly the fun parts of riding. And you're really missing out on how fun riding can actually be if you get something that just isn't for you. So I hope you won't end up being one of those people who quit riding, and that you can get your friends or family to ride, and that you just get the bike for you that makes you happy. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it's all about.